All right, are you Mr. Randy Peterman? Sorry, I can't hear you, sir. Are you muted on your end? There might be a button you have to push. Okay.
Your Honor, I'm going to be able to meet with Mr. Peterman in breakout room.
Oh, you have not yet met with him?
No, I was told to zoom in and then I'd be put in a breakout room.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Can you hear us, Mr. Peterman?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. All right. All right. So we've got to arraign you on a bench warrant, but first I'm going to put you in a breakout room and let you speak with an attorney about the matter, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're back on the record in the 53rd Circuit Court for the County of Presqu'île. And are you Randy Peterman, sir? Can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, I'm Randy, and yes, I can hear you.
Okay, have you had a chance to speak with Mr. Gilbert?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we're here in People of the State of Michigan versus Randy Dale Peterman. It's file 20-93166FH. We have Mr. Peterman present from the Presqu'île County Jail by video. Mr. Gilbert, for purposes of arraignment, is provided under MIDC. He's appearing by video, and the arraignment is being clerked in the Presqu'île Circuit and Probate Courtroom. I'm appearing by video from the Sheboygan Circuit Courtroom. We are providing public access to this hearing online. And Mr. Peterman, you're here today to be arraigned on a bench warrant where you were arrested on an allegation that you're in criminal contempt of court for the following reasons. It's alleged that you gave the court a false address as to where you would be living or staying when you were released on a personal recognizance bond, and that then you failed to appear for a motion hearing that was to address whether to revoke your bond on January 11th of 2021. And that was the date that the warrant was issued when it's alleged that you failed to appear. You have the right to have a hearing on those allegations, at which it would need to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt that you are in contempt of court. You have the right to the assistance of an attorney at any such hearings, and I note that Mr. Michael Vogler is already representing you on the underlying criminal case that still remains pending. If you are found to be in criminal contempt of court, I could sentence you to up to 93 days in jail or fine you up to $7,500 or both. Separately, I can revoke your bond if I have reasonable grounds to believe you're not complying with the conditions and your bond was previously revoked, at a hearing, I think on February 8th. All right, so Mr. Peterman, do you understand the rights that you have and the maximum penalties you could face?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Gilbert, do you know how Mr. Peterman wishes to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor. He would request a hearing at this time on this matter.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll set this for a contempt hearing as well as a docket call on the underlying case that is still remains pending. Because Mr. Peterman's in custody, that has to be held within 14 days, just so that we can touch base on it and see where we're going. I'm going to add it to the coming Monday's docket, August 2nd at 9:50 a.m. We'll have Mr. Peterman zoom in for that from the jail, and Mr. Vogler will be, I think, already be in court that day for our motion day, so Mr. Vogler will be there to represent you at the hearing, Mr. Peterman, okay? Do you have anything further, Mr. Gilbert?
Your Honor, would the court consider reinstating Mr. Peterman's bond? He did turn himself in on this matter about 24 days ago from what he tells me, and then he had to go to a different county due to child support matters, and they brought him back. So he did, once he found out about it, he did turn himself in.
Well, that's nice, but the timeline of this is that back on Mr. Peterman, just to remind you, sir, back on see the arraignment date on December 2nd. Go ahead, sir.
Your Honor, I understand that it has been a while. The other judge I talked to and told him it was going to take a little bit for me to get back up here and that I wasn't running. I informed him of that. And okay. I did turn myself in. I'm not trying to be a flight or anything. I've been taken to the hospital from the jail and left at the hospital alone without an officer. I am not a flight risk. I'm not trying to avoid the punishment or the crime, but I do have a job working on a farm out there, and I can make some kind of money. I'll be living at the farm where I'm working.
Okay. On December 7th, this court reduced Mr. Peterman's bond to a personal recognizance bond with conditions to not be within a mile of the victim's residence, not have any contact with anyone under the age of 18. And at that time, he reported an address that he would be staying at on December 23rd, the prosecutor filed a motion alleging that the defendant had lied to us about where he'd be staying and that the person there was not in fact his fiance, and she said he was not even welcome at the property. So the prosecutor asked the court to reinstate a surety bond and schedule a hearing for that to be held. And Mr. Peterman did not appear at that hearing, which was held in January 11th, and then also did not appear at a docket call that was scheduled on February 8th, and it is now July 29th. So Mr. Peterman, you, sir, are going to sit in jail until this case is resolved.
Okay, but that is untrue, Your Honor. I understand, but that is untrue. We were engaged, and once we got she got custody of her kids, I couldn't be there. We were engaged, and I was staying there. I understand you want me to sit here, but I'm just telling you that we were engaged, and I was staying there.
Mr. Peterman, whether you're engaged to her or not is not the driving factor in why you're going to sit in jail. It's because for 6 months, this case has been on hold and you've been ignoring it. So you're going to sit, sir. All right, we'll see you on
Yes,
Monday.
sir. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We're adjourned.